When we have a block in our energy flow, it is because we are fearing something, we are resisting something, and therefore we are blocking that energy flow. Now, we often talk about clearing things in order that the energy can flow better. But actually what we really need to do is to become that which we fear. When we fear something, we resist it, so we push it away. And that means we don't recognize it. We become detached from it. We become separate from it. We don't want to recognize it. And that's about operating from one side of that thought process, one duality. And a duality is when you're operating from, you're only recognizing a very small part of that whole thought process. So you're operating from this side of the thought process, if you imagine there's an oval there, but you're dismissing that side of the thought process and everything in between. So the view is always very narrow-minded when you're operating from one duality. Therefore, the illusion of separation is that, I'm pushing that away because it's been a traumatic experience. I've therefore developed a fear and I'm separating from it because it scared me for whatever reason. So it separates from you. You distance yourself and therefore you start to resist it. And that's when the block occurs. So the illusion of separation is there. In reality, it's always been a part of you, but the illusion is you've pushed it away because you're kind of avoiding it. You're not looking at it. So it becomes what we call the shadow side, all those parts of us that we don't want to identify with. So the best way of actually clearing any fears or emotional blocks is by becoming those emotional blocks, becoming those fears. And that means pulling that piece of consciousness in that you've separated from, pulling that fear in, pulling that block in, and bringing it and reuniting it with the whole once again. Because the illusion is that we are separate from it. And that illusion in the mind means that we are resisting it. So as we pull it in, we become it. And as we become it, then we're no longer fearing it. We're no longer separate from it. We no longer have the illusion or the perception of separation. So by pulling it in, what we're doing is allowing ourselves to feel that fear. And this is why you have books like Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And you have other people that say, go out and face the fear, face it head on and feel it. Take action and feel it. And actually, the more you allow yourself to feel that fear fully and completely, so you are fully present in the body, feeling it from head to toe completely, and it can be very intense and very frightening at first, but the more you sit with it and allow yourself to feel it, then the quicker it will go. And it will go very, very quickly if you just allow yourself to be present. Where problems occur is where we've distanced ourselves, not wanting to face it, and therefore we're not present. We're living in the past. We're living in another time when that trauma, that experience first happened. So the more you become the fear, in fact, just becoming the fear, it will clear the fear completely if you allow yourself to become it. Now, I'm developing a new technique at the moment that will enable you to become that fear very easily. But in the meantime, it's about pulling it in and feeling it fully so you become it. Remember, we are light and dark. So whatever you fear, become it. And that means becoming, if you have a fear of green, then become the fear of green. If you have a fear of heights, become the fear of heights. If you have a fear of dogs, become the fear of dogs. And that means become what you resist. Become that fear. Bring it in. Feel it. Unite that piece of consciousness that is broken off. And then you'll feel that wholeness again, that light and that dark. You'll unite the whole thought process. So you're not operating from one side of the duality anymore. You're operating from the entire thought process. The fear disappears. Give that some thought.